Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Nabila Hanifa from class A. My ID number is E1AO25039. And the horrible my lecturer for this project is Ma'am Nisa. Okay guys, for this video, I want to present about Jessica Wongso case. First, I want to explain about case background and legal issue. The background of this case is the death of Wayan Mirna Salihin on January 6, 2016 at Olivier Cafe, Jakarta. After drinking Vietnam's iced coffee ordered by her friend Jessica Wongso, Jessica arrived early and the coffee was already on the table before Mirna arrived. The coffee's taste, color, aroma were all dirty altered. After drinking it, Mirna experienced a burning sensation, confusion, and death. Forensic tests detected the lethal cyanide in her stomach. The next is the main legal issue in this case. The main legal issue in this case are 1. Proved by circumstantial evidence. There is no direct evidence to suggest Jessica poured the poison. The prosecution relied on behavior analysis like arrival early, choosing a seat, and CCTV footage. 2. Reliability of forensic evidence. Okay, the third, we talk about relevant law and applicable article. The main article in Article 340 of the Indonesia Criminal Code concerning premeditated murder. Anyone who intentionally and with premeditation takes the life of another person shall be punished by the death penalty, life imprisonment, or maximum imprisonment of 20 years. The elements that must be proven are intentionally. The judge believed Jessica acted consensually and intended to death the result. With premeditation, this is a crucial element. The judge examined the time interval between enter and execution, between derived serious actions and arriving early, choosing strategies hidden from CCTV, and placing a paper bag that obscured the view, taking someone's life. Mirna's death has been medically proved the B2 cyanide poisoning. Okay guys, third is evaluation of the court decision and evidence. The court reasoning. What the court reasoning? The court started the chain of circumstantial evidence for a logical and convincing wall beyond reasonable doubt, despite the lack of direct physical evidence. The following is the analysis. Evidence category example from the case strength controversy. Behavioral evidence arriving early, ordering a specific coffee for the victim, choosing a specific sip, paying in evidence the victim reaction when the coffee was stirred, considered as indication of intent and planning. However, its interpretation of behavior can be subjective and does not always prove a crime. Forensic and technical evidence. Cyanide contained in the victim's stomach. CCTV footage, although it did not capture a poisoning, strong evidence of the case of the death. However, this debate among experts to no direct link proving that Jessica Brock injected the poison. Evidence motive. Reference for Mirna, suggestion to break with her boyfriend. Legally weak motive is not an element in the crime under Article 3040 on the criminal, but is objective more psychology. Okay, the final decision is the Central Jakarta District Court found Jessica Wongso guilty and sentenced her to 20 years in prison, which was later upheld and in the session. In August 2024, Jessica was released on the parole after serving approximately 8 years in the prison, and a second justical review is currently underway. Okay, the critical evaluation first is the strength. The decision demonstrated that the Indonesia system recognized three substantial evidence as a valid evidence provided it from coherent and logical chain. Second, weakness or controversy. This decision questionable due to the absence of the smoking gun, the resilience of interpretation of behavior, the circumstance creates reasonable doubt that should benefit the defense, the extensive media coverage also has the potential to undermine the principle of independent justiciary. Okay guys, the last we talk about ethical, social, and legal implication for Indonesia. First, test of the evidence system. Debating the justical confession start where versus the need for stronger material evidence in serious criminal case. 2. Spotlight of forensic capacity, revealing the need strengthen the methodology and independence of forensic science in Indonesia. 3. Media influence versus fair trial, a clear example of trial by media where reporting can shape public opinion and directly pressure the legal process. 4. Public legal education, increasing public awareness of the complexities of evidentially allow the distinction between. Okay, the conclusion overall, although the court rendered verdict based on confidence in the available evidence, the evidentiary process Jessica Wongso case concern fundamental flaws. The heavy reliance on circumstantial evidence that without strong direct support cast serious doubt of the one validity of the verdict. The case highlights the challenge of upholding substantive justice without compromising the principle of legal centrally the presumption of innocence, particularly under instant media scrutiny. Therefore, from the perspective of criminal producer law of evidence, decision to sentence Jessica Wongso can be considered flawed or powerless in 2024, while considered an administrative adjustment does not necessarily eliminate the fundamental problems with the evidence emerged during the intentional trial.